All right, welcome back to the Hunting Roots Podcast. I'm Brody Swisher, and I want to say a big welcome to you guys watching by YouTube. We're going to video this today as we talk about and spotlight the best and worst hunting camp gear. Camping gear, essentially, right, Aiden?
Yeah.
You said, you pointed it out real quickly. Like, dude, you got to start over. You just said hunting gear. We're not talking hunting gear today, but we're talking hunting camp gear. I've got Aiden with me, Rimbo, and we've just wrapped up a fun little camp, and we all said it was one of our favorite camps we've ever had. It's just us three. Are you disagreeing with that?
No, I'm not. I'm disagreeing with that.
You got to watch. You got to remember they're watching right here. So if you're over there this is not the normal podcast where you can cut eyes at everybody and where you can be like, Aiden, he's an idiot. You know, make those little looks at Aiden. I saw you do that. You snuck a little look over to him like, Dad's an idiot. Well, it's not the favorite hunt ever. You know, not the favorite camp. But now we got people watching so they can see you cutting eyes and all that stuff. So you got to keep track of that. So no, it was good. It was one of our top camps, be honest.
Yeah, it was definitely top, but probably not the best.
Okay, we'll say maybe it wasn't the best, but just a lot of fun. So we want to talk about why that was and go through some of the camp gear we used because we both agreed it was a squirrel hunting camp. We took our dog, Cricket. Took old Cricket with us this time, and we had great plans and great expectations for this to be just a jam-up Squirrel Dawg Camp. These are my squirrel dogs. We call ourselves Squirrel Dogs. These boys are my squirrel dogs, DAWG. But Cricket is our squirrel dog, chasing squirrel dog, and she's that little mountain cur. So we took her over there thinking this is going to be an awesome time. We're going to go in here and just have, like I said, a jam-up Squirrel Dawg Camp. But we quickly found the squirrels to be few and far between. We did kill squirrel. But it was slim. It was pretty slim. And so we quickly changed gears from squirrel hunting to deer scouting and switched gears at the end of the camp and went back to deer hunting, which didn't prove to be too much better there. But the camping aspect of it was a big time, man. We were just kicked back on the riverbank and had a great setup, great camp setup. It was cold. How cold did it get that night? Y'all remember?
It was like 20 degrees.
22 degrees. And a lot of people are like, man, it's brutal. It was too cold. Y'all get cold, but I thought the temperature was really pretty nice. I mean, it got cold that night, of course, if you're not around the fire. But man, that's what you're doing. Campfire. You're sitting up there, cozied up to the campfire, and then when we were done with that, we got in the sleeping bags and we did really good. It was, I thought, a really pleasant experience. We talked about it several times. It goes beyond all the mess of summertime. You know, a lot of times we go camping in the summer. We'll do turkey season, spring camps. We'll do, early bow season. We do the hunt, fish, float. This was our variation of a hunt, fish, float this year. Kind of looked a little different this year, obviously, but same hunt, fish, float spot. Those camps are oftentimes, predominantly, those are hot weather camps. What does hot weather bring when you're camping? Mosquitoes. What else, Rimbo?
Sweat.
Ticks. And, yeah, the ticks and mosquitoes are of the devil, and they're living large when we do those warm weather hunts. And, man, this was really nice. No bugs to worry about, just chilling. It was really cool. And so we really want to take a minute to go through our camp gear, what we loved, the best and worst of camp gear. That's kind of what we're going to do on this episode. And really appreciate you guys watching. Again, those of you chiming in, saying what you like and the encouragement you guys give, whether it's YouTube or through podcast platforms. Really appreciate the feedback, and we appreciate you being here. We want to welcome you. If this is your first time, we welcome you to the Hunting Roots Podcast and to the YouTube channel. So thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you find it educational, maybe entertaining, and something that will equip you for your journey. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the camp gear. Again, this is hunting camp. This is not your little trip to the campground and hanging out with everybody where you got full hookups and all the stuff with the camper. This is boating in. In our situation, we boated in. Oftentimes we go by kayak, but this time we went with the John boat. Boat into these spots. And so let me just get this out of the way real quickly before we go, because we'll break up and I want to hear from you two boys what you think your best and worst gear is and was. But one of the things we do when we boat in, because like I said, we're either running up in a John boat, we might be taking our bow fishing rig in. A lot of times with our hunt, fish, float camps, we do the kayak. We go in by kayak or canoe, and so those are a lot of fun. But what we've learned over the years, and this is where we've dumped all our stuff, this is a straight-up pack dump. we've started using these Yeti bags. So let me just talk about that first, and then we'll break it down, let everybody share what they like. But this Yeti Panga, I hope you can see it in the camera. Yeti Panga, I think this is, what is that one, Rimbo? Is that the 100?
Panga 100.
Panga 100. And so I guess that's maybe the largest bag. I can't remember. But, man, these guys have got this big old heavy-duty waterproof zipper. It's a real beefy zipper. You have to yank on it to get it in, lock it into place. You don't have to yank on it as far as just getting it to zip up, but you pop it at the end. It locks in. Totally waterproof zipper. And this thing is dang near bulletproof. Super rugged, super durable. They come in like the Yeti, the Panga 50.
It's like the smallest one that I kind of need, I think.
50, 75, and 100, okay? Like all Yeti products, they're pretty spendy, a couple $100, I'm sure. I don't know. We're going to look up some of these prices as we go so we can kind of give you an idea of what these are. But super, super good stuff. I've used all manner of supposedly waterproof bags over the years. We used to do, in high school, we did, canoeing the Buffalo. We do rafting trips, and we'd go down to Arkansas and float the rivers down there. We'd always use the old school little rubbery kind of bags. You put your gear in there and you roll them up and buckle it, and those are fine. But this is some modern day stuff that's just awesome. We'll throw our sleeping bags in here, tent, everything, anything and everything, clothing, all the stuff in these. So I can't say enough about these. They got straps on them, but these straps also double as backpack straps on the bigger ones. So you can have this Yeti Panga 100, and it's huge, it's heavy, but then you have the backpack straps there. So that's pretty slick. So can't say enough about those. When I'm going in by boat, I say by boat, but really anything. I'm going to be using those because, again, they're going to keep your stuff dry. They're rugged. I threw that out of the boat the other day. You can see all the mud on the end of it. I chunked it out of the boat, and it landed on its end, and then it fell back in the lake. And then I'm, like, scrambling for the boys. Hey, get the bag out of the water in case I wasn't sure if it zipped up good. It's my only worry. But it was in the mud, in the water, in the lake, and that sucker can take a beating. Super good stuff there. So that's how we haul stuff in the kayak, in the canoe, or the boat. You can put it in there and don't worry about a thing. It's in there. It's safe. It's good to go. Again, that may be your clothes, your underwear, tent, sleeping bag, whatever. I trust it in that Panga bag. Really good stuff. All right, boys, let's talk about you guys. Some of the stuff. Let's just talk about – should we talk about worst or best stuff first?
Start with worst.
Best.
He says worst. All right, hey, let's just talk about let's just go through your favorite stuff and your least favorite stuff that you found. And least, we're not trying to dog on any brands or anything, but let's talk about it just from the standpoint of, and you don't even maybe not even talking about a brand name, but just some of the stuff that you had and you said, you know what, that kind of stunk. I'd rather have a better one of these. So you say you want to start talking about worst stuff first. Let's talk about worst case gear, what you found lacking. Maybe it's in your stuff or our whole camp was set up as a whole. What did you find that really probably needed to tweak it a little bit better?
Yep. So I had a cot that I slept on. I don't even remember the brand. It's just an old cot.
I'll tell you what brand it was. It was the old green Coleman. Older than you. Coleman. Where did we get that thing?
I don't know. I got it from their camp box.
Yeah, you got it out of the shed, I think. But I think it was a garage sale special. Or might have been Mr. Mike was going to get rid of it and donate it to a garage sale or something. We're like, hey, here's a cot. And I got it out thinking it's got to not be, good shape or something. And we pulled it out and unfolded it. The thing looked good. Looked like a nice cot. I said, let's keep that sucker. But, yeah, it's old school green Coleman or maybe, a newer version of Ozark Trail or something. But carry on. Why did you not like it?
So, it was great. I fit almost perfect. My legs kind of hit the metal bars at the end. I thought, this is going to be good. It's going to be real nice. But like we said, it was 22 degrees, so it froze the bars.
The metal froze.
Metal bars were really cold on my feet. So I had
But you didn't wear socks, so that's another part of the problem.
That's a different part of the story.
Well,
Either way,
let me ask you this. So you were feeling the cold metal framing through your sleeping bag.
Yes.
It was so cold you were feeling it through your sleeping bag.
Yes, and then that's another thing that I didn't like was my sleeping bag. Feel like I could have used a better sleeping bag. I just had a little Walmart special. So.
Ozark Trail. Shout out to Ozark Trail. Love some Ozark Trail. You can get by with some Ozark Trail. That's Walmart's little brand, I guess. Some of it you can get by. And you have gotten by with that sleeping bag. I think there's like a 30 or 40. Y'all bought them, right?
Yeah.
30 or $40 for Ozark Trail. How many degree bag is that?
I think it's 15.
15-degree bag. But it keep you dry or keep you warm?
Yeah, for the most part. It was just my feet touching that metal bar that was cold.
I'd be curious if any bag would withstand a cold metal bar being laid against it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if the better bags would have done any better. So you're ditching the cot.
Yeah.
We talked about that. The old Coleman. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but you think you'll never bring it again?
Oh, no. Never again.
Never again.
I just grab I don't even know what Remy had, that little pad or something, you know, that little fold-up pad.
Yep.
Rather use that.
Yep. The old Ridge Rest was the little foam. The one we've got is like the Z Rest or something. It just folds up into kind of a square block. We've got the old Ridge Rest so you roll up. And those are fine. I used those back in high school, but now I'm a lot bigger than I was in high school. I'm older than I was in high school, and I like a little bit more. You know, my body just, you know how you guys are. Remy, you're at the age where you can still sleep on the floor probably, right? You can still sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. Doesn't bother you, right? Or are you big enough where you don't like that anymore?
Well, I mean, sometimes I'm fine with it. Sometimes I'm not.
Yeah. You're beyond the sleeping on the floor days, right?
Oh, yeah.
It hurts to sleep on the floor, your shoulders,
not happening.
your hips, your butt, whatever. So you need more, and that's just part of life. As a kid, little kid, and I think, like I said, you're growing out of that too, because you can throw a kid down, you know, a young kid, you can throw them down on the hardwood floor. Not throw them down, but they can lay down on a hardwood floor, sleeping bag. They'll fall asleep anywhere, bottom line. As older you get, and like I said, you're at that age now, Remy, where you're kind of growing out of that. You need, or you want a little more to be comfortable to be able to maintain that. And so that's the biggest thing we saw the other day was that Coleman old school cot. That's probably definitely older than y'all, probably older than me. You know, we're probably talking about a cot, the old school style that's probably 50 years old or more. So while we're on that, because we'll just go through and we'll talk about the different things, the good and the bad. And you talked about the bad being that janky, clanky Coleman cot. And the thing I liked about it, I was going to take it and claim it as my own. And in fact, when we said, well, let's keep it, that was kind of my thing. I thought, that'd be my cot. Because it is high up off the ground. It's probably maybe 12 or 18 inches off the ground. So I like the fact you can sit on it and put your shoes on and kind of sit there and have a little bit of a bench seat. It was kind of nice. But when you first set it up and I went and laid down on it, I laid back on. I could tell, too, I was kind of too long, and I'm not that tall. I'm just under 6 foot. But I was touching the ends, both ends, I think, hitting both ends. My feet might have been hanging off, whatever. So I think it's right there at 6 foot. It's about all it is, if that. But also noticed, you remember when I laid back what happened, and every time I moved, it was squeaking. It's that tight cordure or whatever it is. I don't remember what that material was, but every time you move, and I thought, not happening. That'd be miserable all night. To hear that, to feel that, whatever. So we're pitching that thing. I don't even think somebody said put it in the shed, we'll sell it at the next garage sale. I was like, man, that didn't make it through the last garage sale. That's why we have it. It got pitched. Nobody wanted to buy it. So we may just chunk it. But this is you're going to hear us talk about Helinox several times. And we're going to try. Hopefully you guys can watch this. And if you're listening to it by the podcast and not seeing it, I'm going to try to keep things where I can explain it as good as possible so you can visualize it in your mind without seeing it. But I'm going to try to go back and forth, YouTube and podcast, and keep it relevant for both of you listening or watching. But we're going to talk a lot about the Helinox gear. And now this is the good cot. We're getting rid of the Coleman. It's huge. It's twice as big as this. It's big. It's heavy. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's substantial. This is the Helinox cot. Now, this is only about 8 inches off the ground. You're probably maybe that, 8 inches or so off the ground. So it's a low cot design, but super solid, super durable. This thing is maybe 5 pounds. I don't know. It's super light. It's not bad at all. 4 or 5 pounds. I don't know. We'll go back and look and see. But it's just boom, boom, boom. It's got 3 sections of framing, and then you got your poles running down the side that goes through kind of a stretcher-style material. And so just kind of envision a stretcher with 3 leg sections in it to pop on real quick and easy. You can set it up in a minute or two. Super fast, super light. The Helinox cot. And I love this thing. And that's kind of been my go-to. Again, I was going to claim that bigger one because it was taller, but I quickly saw that, no, that's not happening. So check out the Helinox cot. Again, very light, very quick to set up, and it just works. I mean, it's a super simple deal. Now, again, you are getting down on it. It's not going to be something you can, it's not going to be something you have high to sit on like a bench. You're getting down farther. So if you're an old person and getting down, whatever, I don't know. If you need a higher bed system, this is not it. But this is good for the gal that wants to get down low, get low, and this works. Did you freak out when I said that? This works good. So the Helinox cot. Really like this one. Highly recommend it. Anything else to be said about this? You guys going to be trying to steal it next time?
I'm going to use that pad.
You're going to use the pad. Let's pitch that out of the way. Helinox cot, check. All right, love it. Let's talk about, while we're talking about Helinox, let's go ahead and knock out the chairs. Because a lot of people say, why would you bring a chair, depending on where you are. Now, we were in a spot, like I said, we boated in, so we had the ability to bring extra gear, but you still, I mean, if you're in a kayak or canoe, you got to be conscious of what you're bringing. You can only bring so much. I mean, a kayak and a canoe is not much more space than if you were backpacking. You got to kind of think along those lines, go minimal. But we were in the John boats, we were able to bring more. But I'm quickly learning that whether I can bring a little or a lot, even when I'm backpacking, I'm going to take this Helinox chair. Now, we're going to try to set this up. Again, you guys listening just have to kind of envision it in your mind, but the bag is just that, maybe a foot-long bag. This thing weighs in at 1 pound, okay? It's called the Helinox Zero chair. All right, now, Rimbo, you're going to have to help me. So this is all the material we've got. It's just this little kind of a sling seat, just a little rectangle, almost a square sling-style seat, okay? And then it's got the pole system that you can almost just kind of hang it out here and hopefully don't hit yourself in the face, but let's just kind of do it. It's got just envision the tent pole system with the core design. Everything pops into place. Boom, just like that, okay? And again, we're talking I knocked you out, didn't I? 1 pound on this thing. All right, put the sling up here on it. And so there's your frame right there, okay? Just kind of a laid-back lounger frame. Let's see if we can make this happen. There you go. And then you just pop this sling seat onto the frame itself. Boom, there. Everything smells like smokes, dude. Y'all picking up on that? Mm-hmm. Pop it on there. So the sling seat just goes on this ultralight frame. And, yeah, put it on there right there, Rimbo. Got you. There you go. And that's it. That thing is super light. And I remember the first time I got in, I was like, man, that ain't no way that's going to hold me up. But a buddy of mine sat down. I let him go first. I said, hey, sit down in that chair for me. You a big boy like me. Sit down in there and let him be the guinea pig. And he sat down in there. But then I got to looking back, man, it's like 300-pound, 320-pound capacity. Somewhere in there, 300 to 350-pound capacity of this little chair that weighs just 1 pound. And I'm telling you, look how light that is. I mean, it's just nothing to it. 1 pound. And would you carry this to camp? All right, let's throw that out of the way, Rimbo. A lot of people are like, why would you backpack that? When you're backpacking, you're going in and you're trying to be a minimalist. You want to carry as little amount of stuff as possible. Are you really going to pack a chair? My buddy Cody Marshall, a good friend of mine I hunt with, and he does a lot out west hunting. He said, man, I carry that thing even when I'm out west hunting. When you're trying to cut all the pounds you can, he said, I carry it out there, and it really opened my eyes to you're right. It's worth it. He said, 1 more pound in your pack, but having that chair just to sit back and chill, just like we're sitting here. We lean up and you sit up and you're like, oh, man, after a while sitting up, you're ready to lean back. It just makes so much difference when I can sit back like I'm doing now, lean back and relax and chill. Just like Aiden over here. Laid back in the recliner. He's just chilling. It's worth its weight in gold if you can have that in camp. You've been hunting hard all day. At the end of the day, you're tired, you're worn out. You can go back to camp. You can sit in the dirt. You can pull up a log, or you can pack an extra pound and have that Helinox chair to sit back in and just chill. Super comfy. I love it from the standpoint of when we're cooking. Again, you're not sitting down in the dirt. You're not on your knees. You're not trying to sit like Indian style, sitting there. Again, crouching on your knees, burning your knees up, your ankles. You just sit in that chair, man, and just work your stove. And I love it. Can't say enough about it. Helinox chair. They're kind of spendy, $120 maybe, I don't know. But 1 more pound in the pack, worth it all day long. Every camp we go on, hunt, fish, float, in the boat, whatever we're traveling, however, by boat, by backpack, by big boat, by the truck, we're going to have those Helinox chairs. And the thing that's really cool about it, I don't think I've got it. That one over there, Aiden, grab it. That's the new swivel chair. And this one's a little bit heavier here. It just came out, same kind of deal. It's like 2 pounds maybe, so twice the weight probably. But you can see that's packed weight, 2 pounds. You can hang it to the outside of your pack, put it in between your pack, whatever you want to do on that sling. It's right there. But this is a swivel design. It's like that one, but bigger, and it swivels. And so we've talked about this. Again, 2 pounds, so it's a little bit heavier. We've talked about that one being just great for the deer blind. You know, I talked about it in an article the other day. We was talking about just gear. And, you know, you go to these shooting houses and deer blinds, and you carry an office chair, and you just leave it there. After a while, they get squeaky and creaky. You go to pop up the double bull like we did the other day. You got those old nasty chairs. Or you get there. You remember last week somebody told us there were 2 chairs in the blind, didn't they, Remy?
Yeah.
And how many chairs were there?
There's only one.
Only one. That's weird. I wonder who told us that.
Yeah, I wonder, Aiden.
Wonder who told us it was, oh, yeah, man, 2 chairs. Y'all
This
go
is the
ahead.
first time I'm hearing about this, so I don't. This ain't even true.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
First time he's here? Well, yeah, so we take those old Walmart camp chairs, and those are almost disposable. You know, after a while, they just break, and they don't last. But they're loud, and the legs pop out of those. These things are great. You know, you take your double bull, which is going to be 20 pounds or more, and then you can just take these little chairs as a swivel chair, and you got a 2-pound chair instead of a 6 or 8, 10-pound chair. So love the Helinox stuff, really good. They make tables and all kind of stuff. So enough about that, but we are big fans of that gear. Ultralight stuff, but it brings the comforts of big camp kind of features to the small camp design. And so really good. What do you got there, man?
I got the Big Agnes,
Big Agnes.
and this one is the Torchlight, 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
20-degree bag. You call it what? Big Agnes?
Mm-hmm.
Big Agnes. Remy has a hard time. Sometimes he'll leave the G out of Big Agnes, and it'll say Big Anus. And I thought, well, dude, that's not a mistake you want to make, okay? Big Agnes, you got to bring the G so it's not Big Anus. And we have heard that before. People are like, Big Anus? What's that? No. But they make all kind of stuff. This is you said the Torchlight?
Torchlight, 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Torchlight 20, UL20. And we're still talking about and trying to figure out, this is a good bag. Big Agnes, we've had their stuff for a lot of years. I've got another one of their 15-degree bags that I've had. I got at REI, 20 years ago maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time. So big fan of Big Agnes. 20-degree bag, but we're kind of still trying to figure out, and you guys that know can comment below and let us know. We're going to, a lot of people say when they see a 20-degree bag, like, oh, man, that'll keep you warm to 20 degrees. But I don't think that's the case. You know what I'm saying, Aiden? Your Ozark Trail was what? 15 degrees?
15.
15-degree bag. And it kept you warm, right, other than your feet hitting the metal?
Yep.
So that was a legit 15 degrees. But we were down to 22, so you were getting closer. But the question is, does a 15-degree bag, or in that case a 20-degree bag, does that mean it's going to keep you warm at 20 degrees? I don't think so. I think that means you will survive the night in 20 degrees in this bag. You might be a little cool. You might be a little chilled. But I think it means you will not die in 20 degrees. I think that's what it means. I don't think it's going to be warm and toasty. I may be wrong, but we want to hear from y'all. If y'all know exactly how they rate those, what that 20-degree rating, what that 15-degree rating means, y'all comment and let us know. Reach out to us, message us, or whatever, because we want to hear what that official rating is. We're going to look it up. We just always forget, and so I'm going to throw it out there to y'all. Maybe y'all know. Let us know what you think. So we got the Big Agnes. Aiden had the Ozark Trail. He's wanting a new sleeping bag. He's definitely wanting an upgrade. Remy, you used you didn't even use Big Agnes.
I did, but
you used that Big Agnes, and you used the blue one, old blue. Gander Mountain.
Gander Mountain, yeah.
Yeah, so Remy, I threw Remy. I was just worried about him. Me being the good dad I am, I was worried about him. I thought, I'm going to put you in the Big Agnes, but then you're going to put the Big Agnes inside. He double bagged the deal. He got the Big Agnes, and then he got down into the Gander Mountain. The Gander Mountain Old Blue, we call it, is a sleeping bag from back when I was in junior high probably. I went camping with my cousin Benji. Okay, I was almost just a little bit older than you. My cousin Benji and I went camping, and we camped one night after Christmas. It was Christmas night, I think, and the night after. All the festivities were done. Christmas had been all good, ate down there at Nanny's. Christmas night, the night of the 25th and 26th, we decided we're going to go camping. And it was the same thing like last week. It was maybe 15 to 20 degrees, maybe 20 plus. I don't remember. I just remember it was colder than cold. We went out there thinking we're going to camp. We're going to kill coyotes at night. We didn't realize you're not supposed to shoot coyotes at night at the time. We had an old, we call boombox tape recorder that would play tapes, and we had a bootleg copy of a rabbit squealing. Somebody made a recording of it on this cassette tape, put the tape in there, crank it up. We were going to do that. We did that. No coyotes were harmed in the process. Like I said, later found out you're not even supposed to be hunting them at night at that time. But that was the plan, and I remember pretty much that night, the thing that sticks out to me was the fact that we froze nearly to death. Now, the sleeping bags we had at that time were like it was like a Star Wars sleeping bag and maybe a Mickey Mouse sleeping bag, something like that. And I remember holding up to the fire because I was like, gosh, this thing is of zero value, not keeping me warm at all. And I remember holding up to the fire, and all the stuffing was down in the corners. And in the middle of it, you could see through it. It was like holding up, just see through, like holding up this mesh. You could hold it up and you could see through it. All the stuffing was gone and down to the sides. It was all bunched up. So it was just like paper thin sleeping bag. I thought, this is ridiculous. And we tried to survive out there that night. I don't remember sleeping at all. We huddled up next to the fire so much. But we were out there, Star Wars sleeping bags, Mickey Mouse sleeping bags, maybe Snoopy. Those sleeping bags from like childhood, elementary school. And we decided on the night, dude, we were going to get some sleeping bags. Benji got him a nice sleeping bag. I went to Gander Mountain and got that one the next time around. And I've had it ever since, and I think it was kind of a 5 degree, 10 degree, whatever it is, sleeping bag. So you're using a sleeping bag that's probably 30-plus years old. And still kicking, Gander Mountain. I don't think that store is even in business anymore, is it? They gone?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Remy, what's the sleeping bag here? This is Papa Bear's sleeping bag.
This is the Stone Glacier sleeping bag.
This is
like the best sleeping bag out there.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one. And I love Stone Glacier. Like I like the Helinox gear. I love the Stone Glacier gear. And I've had a little bit of everything for those guys. See if we can pull it out here. I'm trying to find the name because I don't want to just tell people Stone Glacier and not give them the name. Here it is right here. Yeah, right here. It's a Chilkoot. 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 How do you say that, Aiden? Is that Chilkoot?
I think so.
Chilkoot.
Yeah.
Chilkoot or Chilkoot. 0 degree bag. Okay, 850 down. Okay, 850 down fill. And this is just a big old puffy, dude. Now you look at it, and you're sitting here thinking, everybody's like, what are they doing? It looks huge, but this thing compresses down. You put it in a stuff sack, and it compresses down to nothing, and it's a backpackable design. Just a couple pounds, okay? Throw that out of the way. That's a Stone Glacier sleeping bag. Like I said, 0 degree bag, but here's where you get your money on your sleeping bags. You can buy all kind of 0 degree, 5 degree, 10 degree, whatever, but a lot of times they're huge, and they're heavy. You know what I'm saying? You may find a bag to keep you warm. It may say 0 degree bag, but it's huge. Can't even get your arms around it. The big money in sleeping bags are finding one that's got that kind of loft, the insulation of it, but also packable, and it's super light. 2 pounds, so I love that. You got a pound for your chair over there. I'm going to be toting that. 2 pounds for that. Stone Glacier sleeping bag, so really good stuff there. All right. I use that sleeping bag, and then that's 2 pounds, 3 pounds for the chair total. And then I use the Stone Glacier tent. Now, we didn't use this the other day. We used our big, nasty tent that we're going to talk about a little more. But this is a Stone Glacier tent. I think it's 4 pounds with everything. You can trim some stuff out of it, get rid of some of the stakes and different things, cut the weight down to a little over 3 pounds. But loaded with all the lines and guy wires and tent pegs and everything, right at 4 pounds. Okay, so it's a little bit heavier by comparison. You can find some lighter tents out there, but this is an all-season, 4-season, all-weather deal. It's going to keep you dry. Condensation off of you. You can use it anytime, anywhere. Super rugged, super dependable. Really good stuff. And so I love that. So I got 4 pounds, 2 more pounds for my sleeping bag. There's 6. I'm carrying that chair, so there's 7 pounds with the main essentials that I like to have. Okay, Stone Glacier tent and sleeping bag. What was the tent that we had? You want to go and talk about that while let's talk about that. So what is this, Rimbo?
This is the Zoom
UL. Insulated from who?
Big Agnes.
Big Agnes. Big Agnes, what a great name. I mean, I love that name. We need to look up and see where that name came from. You know, somebody started the company, and then they said, you know what, let's name it after Grandma. Let's name it. You think somebody's going to call their grandma Big Agnes, so maybe not. Big Agnes might be a dude's name. Yeah. Is that a man's name or a woman's name?
I mean, it could be both.
Could be both. You're covering up your microphone, bro. You can't cover up your microphone. So it could be both. There is a guy that we deer hunt with, or have a guy that's friends with the guy that we deer hunt with, and his name's Agnes. So I don't know. I've heard guys and I've heard gals both named Agnes.
There's a kid off of a movie called Agnes.
Oh. Is it a guy or girl?
It was a girl.
Oh, is it? Okay. I tend to think of Agnes as a girl's name, but it could be either, I guess. But this is what, Rimbo?
This is a little mattress.
Air mattress. Yeah,
air
sleeping
mattress
pad.
You can sleep on. And
you slept on this one?
I slept on that one, and it did pretty good. I don't think it lost any air at all.
No, it's pretty good. And same deal. 1 pound, I think, for that right there. Compact as it gets. Again, for folks not watching it, it's what would you call that? About the size of a Yeti cup, a big Yeti cup. Not as tall as a Yeti cup, but kind of that.
Not as fat as a Yeti cup, but not as tall as a Yeti cup.
Yeah, so 1 pound, and this is a lifesaver. Now, this is what we're going to tote to the woods when we're backpacking. Again, Remy used it the other night, but when you're not wanting to carry a cot, anything heavy, this right here is slick. You pull this out. First, you were trying to figure out how to air it up, and you figured it out on your own. You got the valve and just started blowing that sucker up. Next thing you know, you're good to go. So we use the Big Agnes on that. I've got a Cedar Summit is another good brand that I've got that I like and recommend. So, again, about 1 pound for your average sleep pad, insulated sleep pad. I won't go without it. If I thought I had to sleep on the ground, hard ground, just probably not going to do it. I mean, survival situation, sure. But just for fun and for camping, I've got to have a pad, sleep pad of some kind, and that's one I'll take for sure every time. Or we didn't even use these this time because it was colder. We wanted some insulation underneath us, but what do you boys all have that's got a lot of fun? We use these in the summertime. Aiden, I can't sleep on them, but what is it, Aiden?
Hammocks.
The old Eno, the hammock. Aiden, what's the deal with them?
I don't know. Some people sleep well in them. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different for everybody.
Yeah. I like them because here's what you got. You don't have to worry about a tent if you got the situation. All you got is this. It's my Eno and then the straps. Just that right there. A couple pounds maybe is all it is. And this basically gives you – it eliminates stuff. You don't have to carry a sleep pad. You don't have to carry a tent. And it's all right here. No sleep pad, no tent. Depending on the weather, you don't even have to have a big sleeping bag. But this, Aiden and I, we have learned that we hadn't figured it out yet. And I don't know if it's the excitement that we have when we're hunting and camping and having one of these, but we'll lay there. We're not uncomfortable when we're in these things, in these hammocks. We're not uncomfortable at all, but we're just not sleeping.
No, I remember trying
you notice that.
It was like last year when I tried sleeping in a hammock, and it was during the summertime when we were doing hunt, fish, float. And I was just sitting in there, and I was like, I'm comfortable, but I just can't really go to sleep. And, of course, there was, like, mosquitoes everywhere, and I could hear them going, and then they'd all come biting at me and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how I can't sleep. Yeah. Like, take away the mosquitoes, but I still couldn't sleep.
Where were the mosquitoes biting you is what I want to know. Were they biting you underneath it?
Yeah,
or
they're definitely
the
biting me underneath. Like, all the spots, like where it's covered up, they just could bite me.
Yeah. The mosquitoes, we learned this several years back, that those mosquitoes they'll get underneath there if you don't have a mosquito net. And that's what I've got. I guess that's what that is, mosquito net, now that I think about it. No, it's not. That's straps. But we've got mosquito nets for these things. But they will. You'll get underneath and you think, oh, I'm all covered up and nothing can get to me. But they'll know where your body's tight against that material. I guess they can sense the heat, the blood, or whatever. And they'll bite anywhere that your body's touching against tight against there. They'll land there and bite you through that hammock. And so you got to have a bug netting. Aiden and I we got bug nets now, right? Didn't we both get some? We're going to try that. You even tried it, and you said you were still getting bit.
Yeah, I think the way to go is just have your sleeping bag. And if it's hot weather, unzip it, lay on top.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was getting bit underneath. So
bit through the material. Yeah, you were laying. Yeah, so I think like you said, you need to have a maybe one of these little ridge rest mats, or like you said, just have your sleeping bag or some barrier underneath you so they can't bite you from the bottom, and then keep you closed up. I think with something underneath you, or just having a sleeping bag underneath you, and then the bug netting over you, I think will work. We're going to experiment some more with that. But I'd like to try that again with the mild weather, winter camping. Just try that again, because I know if you pivot your body, you straighten out. You can't be laying where you're all hunched up. But if you turn your body kind of diagonal to the thing or at an angle in your hammock, you can level yourself out. There's some options there. So we're going to try that. I'm not giving up on the hammock yet, but I sure haven't figured out just how to make it through the night without just being there wide open, just like, oh my gosh, I'm still awake. Like I said, super comfortable, but I'm not sleeping. And so for me so far, the hammock is a nap. It's a good place to take a nap, not sleep all night, but we're going to try it some more. So I like the idea, I like the concept, going super light, ultra light. That's the Helinox table, I think. You can fold out, same kind of concept, super lightweight, fold out, and you got a nice little table there. We don't pack that much unless we're just going and being able to boat in a lot of stuff, pack in a lot of stuff. I like that. Hey, let's talk about the tent, because we really didn't cover our tent that we used the other night. We talked about some good tents we like. But let's talk about the tent we had, where you guys rate it 1 to 10 as far as quality tent setup. What do we have, Aiden?
I don't even know what it's called. It's just something we got it from Walmart.
Well, if you got it from Walmart, then that means it's called Ozark Trail. Classic Ozark Trail. And what does that thing hold? It's like a 3-room tent. Holds 12 people or so. I mean, it's huge. And we bought it when we lived in Montana. We sold our camper out there and decided, okay, we're going to move back to Tennessee. We're ditching the camper. We don't have room for it. Don't have a place to haul it back all the way to Tennessee with all our other stuff. So we ditched the camper and we bought this tent. And it was definitely humbling to go from a camper to this old school tent. But it's been good. That's been 10. We've been back 10 years. It's been, probably 10 or 11 years, we've had that thing. And we've used it all over. And it's been beaten up, and but it's got tons of space. I love the fact that it's got tons of space. You can walk into it, stand up inside it. You're not hunched over. It's got all the room you could need. We can throw all our stuff in there. We'll have to post some of the pictures. I know I took a few photos in there the other night. Plenty of space. I love that aspect of it, but just nothing fancy. I mean, they're cheap. So I will give props to the Ozark Trail Walmart edition big monster tent. Like I said, it's just a big cabin-style tent, and it's been good, and you don't worry about that. Like when I carry the Stone Glacier stuff, I'm thinking, man, you got to be real careful with it. Don't. Not that you have to be careful with it, but I just don't want, I'm kind of baby it because I don't want nothing tearing it up. The other night, though, we're in there camping, and who cares if you fire flying on, ashes burning holes in it, crickets running in and out of there, not worried about her toenails tearing up stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about the Ozark Trail tent like I would be my other one. And because you do, man, when you're burning all kind of stuff, depending on the wood, you got sparks popping, ash flying. We've woke up before, many times over the years, and you wake up and stuff been flying, ashes been flying, and they melt your tent. You got holes in your tent, and that make you sick. You got a $500 or $600 tent, and Ozark Trail ain't no worries. And so that thing's been a kick. It's been good for a lot of years, and so we are working on updating though our tent situation, looking for some cabin tents. If you know of some big cabin style tents, we used to have a wall tent, canvas tent. We liked it. It was made by Montana Canvas, but I know White Duck has got some really good stuff. We've been looking at White Duck Canvas, and they've got all manner of these big, oversized bell tents, wall tents, different things. And so we're going to be looking to upgrade our setup there because those things are super slick, insulated, or not insulated, but they've got better R value in their walls and their design with that duck canvas. And so we're going to be looking at some of those different things, try to upgrade the big wall tent, definitely going forward. What else we got? Let's talk about, I'm trying to think what we got here. Let me see. This Nebo charger, power charger, we didn't use this. Aiden said earlier, man, we didn't even use that. And I said, well, that means it was a good camp because we didn't have to use it. It's a Nebo power charger. It comes with the jumper cables. If you're in a situation you need to jump your truck, dead batteries, but you can also plug in. It's got USB power ports there. What else has it got, Rimbo? It's got a light on here somewhere. Let's see. See, it's got all the power charging, You can charge like I said, you can jump your car. Your battery's dead. Super slick stuff. It's got USB ports.
You can charge your phone, right?
Charge your phone. It's got the phone charging port there. Somehow you can turn a light on here. Where's the light? Oh, gosh, there it is. Bright light, super bright light. So it's really nice because you can turn that light on, stick it up there in your truck. If you're working on your boat motor or whatever, you got your light working for you. You can also be jumping stuff off there. I like these. We always try to have this kind of stuff. You got red light. It's also got the emergency light there. So really slick stuff. It's called the Nebo. Again, it's got all your settings as far as your battery level, indicator, really good stuff right there from Nebo. That's what you really won't appreciate until you see if we can turn that thing off. I don't know how you turn that thing off. Try to turn that off for me, boss man. That's one of those products you really don't realize how much you need until you need it. You know what I'm saying? That's an emergency situation set up, and but it will save you. You get back to the boat ramp, your truck, your battery's dead, whatever. Really cool stuff there, so we like that. Now let's talk real quick about the camp cooking, because I think Remy and Aiden, I think this is where we really enjoyed the camp setup, trying some new gear. I don't want to say trying new gear. We just tried some gear that we've had that we enjoy and cooking with it. What do we eat? What did y'all like the most of what we ate the other night? Don't say Pop-Tarts.
Fajitas.
Fajitas. Remy, what was your favorite thing to eat on?
The deer meat.
The deer, let's say fajitas. We did fajitas, and fajitas are easy. That's why you see so many people doing fajitas. You watch them THP boys, and I know they all talk about, what's his name, Nick? Nick being such a great cook. You know what the deal is? Nick's just cooking fajitas. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? No shame against Nick. He does a great job, whatever. But he's cooking fajitas, and there's a reason you see all these guys in camp, and that's what they're cooking. Peppers, onions, deer steak, whatever. It's just so easy, and that's what we did the other night. It's just fajitas, man. Some deer meat cut up nice and thin, peppers, onions, some seasoning. I think we had fajita seasoning, taco seasoning, whatever you want to throw in the mix. We used a fajita blend, but it's so good, And I know part of it is the fact that you're camping, and it's nasty, and it's cold, and everything tastes better when you're camping or when you're in the duck blind, deer camp. Everything tastes better. I get it, but it was really good. It was one of our best deer meals, or not deer meals, but venison camp meals. One of the best camp meals I think we've had. I enjoyed it. It was really good stuff. So super simple. Like I said, peppers, onions, keep them in a Ziploc bag. Some deer meat in a Ziploc bag. It's been marinating in Allegro. Keep that stuff nice and cool. It was 25 degrees, 30 degrees for the high that day, so we didn't have to worry about the coolers and ice chest and all that stuff. We just threw it in a box. We threw it in our little Yeti box cooler, but we didn't have to worry about ice, and so really handy. Stuff cooks up quick and easy. But a couple things we used that night. Aiden used this Camp Chef Striker. Now, so we had fajitas. What else did we eat on? We did eggs, breakfast burritos, and Aiden did his oatmeal. Aiden did a lot of oatmeal. Aiden's got to eat a gluten-free diet. He's got he's got celiac disease, and so he has to do gluten-free. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for options for him, but he can still eat the eggs. He can eat certain oatmeals, right? You got gluten-free oatmeals. So he carried this, and we've used this for a number of years now. It's a Camp Chef Striker. Some guys have used a jet boil. Same kind of concept. We use the Camp Chef Striker. Super slick, and it locks into place. It's got a handle. Your pot, all your stuff is inside here. A stand for your propane, the cooker, everything's right here inside this unit. Goes on the bottom right here, and in just a matter of 2 minutes, I think we clocked it before, 2 minutes, and you can be boiling a big old pot of water. But it's all in this one little unit right here. You got your handle on there. You're not burning yourself. And like I said, 2 minutes, you can boil. You remember what the capacity was, how much water this was? Was that a liter?
Yeah.
1 liter? I can't remember what it was.
How much can it hold milk, Aiden?
Not enough.
Not if you're boiling it.
We had a little mishap with the milk boiling over the other night. Got away from us. But this is really slick. Like I said, you can do anything you need to boil water for. If you're rehydrating freeze-dried meals, Mountain House stuff, oatmeal, any of that kind of stuff. We eat a lot of oatmeal because, again, it's quick and easy. You can just throw some water in it, eat it right out of the packet, right, Aiden? And super slick and easy. you were doing that the other day. You're like eating right out of the packet. I'm like, man, I'm sitting here with my foam cup. And what are you doing? And you're like, man, I just eat it right out of the packet. And these packets now are made where you can just pour your water in and let it rip. So really like that Striker from Camp Chef. Those are what, $120 I think or so. Really handy deal. One of the other options that I like is the Pocket Rocket, MSR Pocket Rocket. Been using these for a lot of years. I've had MSR products for a long time, going back to high school. This is the smallest, I guess, they make in theirs, and it's just this tiny little plastic case. I put these little Hunting Roots wristbands on them just to keep it from popping open and spilling out or whatever. But that's all it is. And you've got this simple little case. You've got the stove burner. Flip it open. Let me get this thing out of the way here. Flip this thing up and in place, and then all you do is take your fuel and you screw that down on your fuel, and that's your stove right there. So super easy. You can take your your bowl, your pot, whatever, just put on there, and you're good to go. That's a really, really slick, super compact way to go. They're called the Pocket Rocket, and again, you just light it up. We've got the little igniters here, just little clickers. You just click that thing, ignite your fire there. Super fast, super easy. That is really slick. One of the quickest, easiest ways to go with the Pocket Rocket. I think these are like $50. Okay, you can find them on Amazon. $50 for the Pocket Rocket. Again, when you have that, then you have to don't be. Good gosh, he's gonna scare me. I'm gonna light a fire up here, boy. You got these. What do you call these?
These are the Grail.
The Grail. It comes with the Grail. It's titanium cookware, though. Grail, we're going to talk more about in just a second. It's got the plates, titanium. It's got a bowl. Really slick stuff. Spoon, fork concept there. Really like that. Now, the Grail is something new for us that we started using. My buddy Cody put us onto it. He's like, man, you need to check this stuff out. It's called the Grail, Grayl. And I guess it's come from the Holy Grail, from the old Indiana Jones movie maybe. The cup. What the Grail is. And so this is your camp cup, but it's so much more than your camp cup. It's got a slick handle, folds out of the way, packs right down in your pack nice and easy. But the Grail is a water filtration system. It's a water bottle, all in one, super, super slick. So I can take this right here. I can use it as a water bottle. I can use it as a camp stove. I can cook water off of it, boil water on it. But it's also built inside is a filtration system, a water filter system. And let me see if I can pop it out here. Comes out.
This thing like weighs nothing.
Well, it doesn't weigh anything, but you got to slide it out to get it out because this is the water purifier system. Don't let me knock you out. So it's got a water filtration system. So, again, you're going to take this Grail cup. You're going to dip it down in the water, get your water out, and then you're going to take your filtration system and then you're going to push that in. It's a press, okay? And you're going to press that water, and I think they say 8 seconds, I think I read. You press that, goes through the filtration system, so now you've got filtered water. So it's your water, it's your camp stove or your camp cookware, filtration system, water bottle, all in one. Really, really cool stuff. It's got the little lid. Hand me the lid right there, Rimbo. It's got a little lid. It's got a vented top on it. You can cook right there. Actually, take that off, and it goes right on top of there. That's the Grail. Now, the Grail, where'd that thing go? Here, let me show this. The Grail, in this, they've got the Pathfinder titanium camp stove, okay? I want you to see how small that is. What can we compare that to, boys? Smaller than a salt shaker. It is a smaller than that. Yeah,
smaller than a little Leatherman.
Tiny Leatherman. This thing's about 1.5 inches tall. The box, it's just super tiny, okay? And Pathfinder titanium stove, okay? Now, I always said the Pocket Rocket's the tiniest thing you can find anywhere. But I want to show you this one right here. This is crazy stuff. Let me get it. It's in this little baggie. Like I said, 1.5 inches by inch square. And then here's this stove, okay? This is this little Pathfinder deal. Same kind of concept. Open it up. And that is even smaller than the Pocket Rocket stove right there. Same deal. You mount it to your fuel. Buy this stuff at Walmart, your fuel, the isobutane. Buy that fuel at Walmart, any kind of outdoor store. Screw that onto it. Open it up. Ignite it. super tiny, smallest thing I've seen. Really cool stuff there. So the Grail system is really slick, and that's going to kind of be something we're going to be using more and more. Again, my go-to stuff in the past has been the Camp Chef. This is all in one package deal, super easy to use. We've used a Pocket Rocket, but this is probably going to replace the Pocket Rocket, maybe even so, or at least make sure everybody's got something along this line. Super tiny. So check out the Grail system. Now, this is kind of spendy. I think it's $220 or so, but again, it's got more than just a bottle. It's not just your bottle. It's your water bottle, camp pot you can cook off of, and your filtration system, which, I mean, you look at a lot of the filtration systems, you'll spend a chunk of change just on that. So that's kind of an all-in-one deal the Grail is. Again, $220 or so, but, man, super, super slick to keep you out there. And, again, just this right here, just this stove design is made for this. It's smaller. The Pocket Rocket's a little too big for this bottle, but this bottle mixed with this stove, super perfect fit. And, again, it's all in one. It's all super easy, ready to go. What else, boys? Rem, you got your Leatherman. Use that. What is your little Leatherman there?
This one's just a Cabela's Leatherman.
Cabela's Leatherman. You got from who?
I got it from Mr. Kenny Arnold when we were duck hunting.
Yeah.
And he did like this kind of like a
little prize
thing, and it was like if you picked out like number one, then you get a pick like from all these things.
You drew
get
numbers.
The first, yeah.
Yep. And you got that, and that's handy. And I've told my boys for years, man, as they've gotten old enough to be toting knives and stuff, don't ever leave home without your knife. You got to have a knife. Got to have a Leatherman. And when we're camping, that's kind of the deal. Standard equipment. I think everybody should have it. I've got my Leatherman sitting over there on the counter. And what's the one I got? You remember? I think it's a Leatherman Free, P4 or something like that.
Oh.
I think it's called a Leatherman Free, P4 Free or Free P4. Maybe that's two different ones. I don't know. I know it's just one I've used for a lot of years. I've lost them. I've bought new ones because it's just the best one I've found. And so I feel like I can change the world. You give me a Leatherman and a lighter, and I feel like I can get some stuff done, survive about anything. Another thing we started carrying this last couple of years is the Rocky Talkie radios. We've used a bunch of different ones from Midland, other brands. But this Rocky Talkie is pretty slick, and it was designed out in Colorado. Excuse me. Designed out in Colorado, designed to be effective and have signal even when you're in the mountains and stuff, so it works really good, obviously, here when we're not in the mountains, but just in big ridges, hills, and hollers and whatever. But we use these. People say, why do you got cell phones. Why do you need to carry a walkie-talkie? But there are times, even where we hunt here close by, that we don't have a good signal. And so it's nice to have these. Remy doesn't carry a cell phone yet. He doesn't have a cell phone. So I'll go put him in a tree stand or blind, give him the radio, and I keep in touch with him, and he can say what he's seeing, hearing, whatever. So love these Rocky Talkie radios. They've got carabiners, easy lanyards to keep them hooked up and ready to roll. So those are good. What else we got? Squirrel dogging. This is what we use. Alaska Guide Creations, chest harness, bino pack, and it's a bino pack, but it's also got extra pockets. So I keep my 22 bullets in here. I keep my laser pointers, and there's kind of what's the standard equipment, boys, that we talk about? I get mad if you don't have a couple basic things. Binoculars,
bullets, and a laser.
Binoculars, bullets, and a laser. I can't say it, can I?
Nope.
Keep messing up. That laser pointer. Why do we carry this? This is the way to point out squirrels in the tree. The old laser. You can buy these for $8, $9 on Amazon. Has nothing to do with camping, but this is our Squirrel Dawg hunting gear. And yeah, you're looking up in a tree and you're trying to point out a squirrel that the dog has treed, and you can sit there and tell he's right up on that one fork, whatever. You try to point out. You can spend 10 minutes doing that, or you can have this laser pointer and just point it up there. Bam, there he is right there. See, and you just point it out. We use the green ones. Super cheap, incredible tool though. Vortex binoculars. I carry these cheapest ones they've got. They're like these little Vortex. What are these? Diamondback HD 10 by 32. Maybe not their cheapest ones, but their smallest ones. I love these things. Super compact. I hate going to a tree my dog's treed on and don't have a pair of binoculars, just because, again, it's hard to find them up there. They're laid up there. They're hiding from you. And you'll find that squirrel when you have binoculars. So never go without your pointer and without your binos to find that squirrel once your dog trees. But this is just a simple, easy way for me to go. A little Alaska Guide Creations bino harness. They also make, Alaska Guide makes these, whatever, for your cell phone, for your any gear, gadget like this. For us, it's a Garmin handheld device. We use these with our dogs. They wear the collar. We got the collar, tracking collar on them. And I use this Alpha handheld device, and I can keep up with that dog. I can find out it's got the GPS. I can know exactly where she is, where she's headed, what direction, how far she is from me. I can tone her, vibrate, or give her a little electric pop if I need to. If she's just straight up disobeying, has no plans of redirecting, I can hit her with that. But I don't ever have to. I just beep her with this, and she knows now, hey, one little beep, and she's coming back to me. If she ever gets to chasing something I don't want her chasing or going in a direction I don't want her to go, super easy, handheld device. Got that right here. Keep it right in that little pocket made right here on that sucker. So pretty slick little bino harness in the Bottomland, our favorite camo pattern, moss yoke Bottomland. So that's pretty slick right there. The Garmin, we used that the other day. Always using that thing. Big time stuff. Boys, what are we forgetting? What are we missing? Anything we're leaving out? We need to talk about still?
We have these.
Yeah, we didn't talk about these. I don't even what. I think these are made by Hideaway. It's a little tiny, flat, folds up pretty much flat, kind of accordion style flatness, and it's a water bottle. Got water bottles there. You can pop it out. This one actually holds a pretty good bit of stuff. I don't know how many ounces that is, but so it's a water bottle that folds down. It's a rubber water bottle, folds down like I said, kind of accordion style for packing, backpacking. But I can have my fluids, liquids, beverages, whatever I want right there. Got a little screw on top. This one's actually got a flip up little sippy straw right there. So for you guys that want a little sippy cup, sippy straw, whatever design. But those are nice because, again, they fold up. You can get them all folded down in there. I'll let you do it, Rimbo. Folds down next to nothing, and then it's flat in your pack. Doesn't take up a lot of space like if you had a big cup or whatever. You got the same style?
Yeah.
They got a hole in it?
Yeah.
That's
how you sip it.
No, I thought you were hearing a hole inside the body of it itself. So those are pretty cool. I like those. Again, don't take up a lot of space. We were in camp the other day. We had some old foam cups, and about half of them were crapped out, breaking apart, whatever.
They had like stuff all in them.
Stuff in them, junk floating around in there. There's your lid right there. So these are kind of nice. You can give yourself I know that's at least 12 ounces there, 12 or 16 ounce cup. It doesn't take up any space when you're packing in, so those are pretty handy. Always using the Nalgene bottles, of course, and then we'll throw, we've always got water, obviously, but we like to squincher powder mix. We'll take the squincher stuff to throw into the mix. You need to get tired of water. Squincher gives you some of that electrolytes, give you a little mojo kick, and so we kind of like that to add and mix with our water. And it helps sometimes, too, when you're purifying, depending on where you're drinking from. If you're drinking out of the lake or out of the river, out of some mud hole, whatever, you might want some kind of mix to give you something, a little bit of flavor, so you kind of can cover up that taste of some funky water. Even though these purified a lot of that, they make the taste better. Sometimes they don't get just everything hidden when it comes to taste, and so it's nice to have something to kind of cover up that pond water taste about it. You know what I'm saying? Favorite gear of all we've talked about. What's your favorite gear of this stuff, boys? Aiden, we'll let you go first.
Helinox chairs.
Helinox chairs. Aiden, you've had that on your wish list for birthdays and Christmas for a while. And
still hasn't happened.
It ain't happening. It ain't happened this Christmas either, I'm going to be honest with you. But we knew, and I say that. You have it on your list, but you just need to take one of mine. You just have to steal some. You're good about stealing my stuff, so it's all good.
Maybe.
Yeah. Remy, favorite stuff of all these items we've talked about?
Either the Helinox chair or this Big Agnes sleeping bag.
Yep. I like it all. The Stone Glacier gears is my favorite camping gear as far as just good quality stuff. But I like to talk about just comfort factor. That Helinox, it's cool. Cool deal. I love those. They've added a new element to our camping experience. Even when we're roughing it, when we're going in by boat, whatever, we can tote that thing. And that's where that Helinox chair really shines. Sitting around the campfire, yes, but also when we are doing our kayak camps, adventures, hunt, fish, float, and you're out on the bank, roasting a hot dog or something, and, you're either sitting on a rock, sitting on the ground. We've learned, man, throw that sucker in the back of the kayak, and you got you a comfy little spot to sit. So I guess that's about it. This is some of our favorite gear. We didn't talk about a lot of the worst. I mean, we've kind of eliminated over the years the worst stuff. We're getting rid of old janky cots and tents. We threw away a lot of tents last year from all manner of brands. Just threw them away because they were falling apart. If the zipper is jacked up, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing worse than trying to get out of a tent in the middle of the night, and you got to take a leak, and you're about to bust, and you're trying to get out of the tent, and it's all jammed up. It's all janked up. The zipper won't open. You're stuck in that tent, about to pee all over the floor, whatever. That's got to go, okay? You got to be able to get in and get out. And so we threw away several tents last year that were just had served their purpose. Time was fulfilled, and it was time to move on with them. And we pretty much got our stuff to where we want it. Real quick before we go, I want to leave you with the verse of the day. It's Matthew 22, verse 37. It says, "And he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind, with all your strength, your heart, your soul, your mind. Love him with everything you got." That's what we've got on these little wristbands here. If you don't have one of these, you need to get one. We'll send you one. Hunting Roots, it says, and then heart, soul, and strength. And if you're chasing critters, deer, ducks, turkey, if you want to find success, you've got to chase him with all your heart, soul, and strength. You have to pursue him, chase after him. All these critters we hunt. Man, if you want to be successful, you want to be consistent, it takes your heart, soul, and strength, all your heart, soul, and strength. Some guys get lucky, but the guy that's consistent is chasing him with his heart, soul, and strength, or her heart, soul, and strength. Bigger than that, though, we take it to Scripture, and that's just it. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength. And that's what it takes. Man, God's not looking for half-hearted people. He's not looking for lukewarm people. That's the person, like we say all the time, makes God sick. He wants to spew that person, vomit that person out of their mouth, out of his mouth. He's looking for the person that said, you know what, I'm not half-hearted. I'm not riding the fence. I'm not straddling the line. I want to chase God with all my heart, soul, and strength. I pray you do that today. We're going to be doing that in the woods. We're going to be doing that in life. That's the way we work. That's the way we roll. Chase him with all your heart, soul, and strength. As we go, I want to say big thanks to our sponsor, Onyx Hunt. If you don't have the app in your phone, be sure to get it. OnyxMaps.com is the website. Also, big thanks to Mossy Oak. MossyOak.com. Check them out there. Everything is better in bottomland. Check out the HuntingRoots.com website as well. Love to see you there. We've got merch just in time for Christmas. We've been selling these hoodies. We've got Mossy Oak hoodies and Greenleaf and Bottomland. Hunting Roots logo across the front. We've been selling those, sending those out. I think we're sending one out today. We've got over there going to Texas today. And so appreciate you guys buying the merch. Encourage you to do that. Help the podcast out by buying some of those shirts, caps, hoodies. And as always, we look forward to seeing you right back here. Chase him with all your heart, soul, and strength. And we'll see you back on the next one. Shoot straight.
God bless.